Welcome to Airfreight. In this video, we're going to look at calculating the chargeable weight and applying freight rates. Chargeable weight is the weight that the forwarder is going to charge the customer for. So even though you may have two boxes that both weigh 10 pounds, if one takes up more space than the other, the box that takes up more space will ultimately be charged more or cost more to the customer than the box that takes up less space. So what is chargeable weight? So there are three kinds of weight that we use in air freight. You have your actual weight, what your box or your shipment actually weighs. You have the volume weight, which we determine using the dimensions of the freights. And then we have the chargeable weight. So the chargeable weight is the larger between the two. So whether the actual or the volume is larger, that becomes your chargeable weight. 5 steps involved in calculating chargeable weight and applying the freight rate. First is calculate your actual weight. Second is calculate your volume weight. Third step is determine your chargeable weight. Fourth step is identify your freight rate. And the third is apply the freight rate. When you calculate your actual weight, you're going to look at the number of pieces in the shipment, the weight of each piece, and then multiply the number of pieces in the shipment by the weight of each piece, and this will give you your actual weight. When it comes to calculating air freight rates, you want all of your weights to be in kilograms. Once you have your actual weight, then you're going to get your volume weight. How you get your volume weight is you take the number of pieces there are, multiply that by the dimensions of each piece, and that gives you your volume weight. So multiply the number of pieces in the shipment by the dimensions of each piece to get your cubic measurement. What you now have is a cubic measurement. This is not a weight. In order to get your volume weight, you need to convert your cubic measurement into kilograms. In order to convert to kilograms, you need to take a look at the dimensions that your freight is in. If your dimensions are in meters, you first have to convert to centimeters by multiplying by 1 million. Then you have to follow the steps. So if your dimensions are in centimeters and your weights are in kilograms, you're going to take your cubic measurement and divide that by 6,000. If your dimensions are in inches and the weight is in kilograms, you're going to divide your cubic measurement by 366. If your dimensions are in inches and the weight is in pounds, then you're going to divide that cubic measurement by 166. Now that you have your actual weight and your volume weight, you are going to determine the chargeable weight. So chargeable weight is always the larger between the actual and the volume. Once you have the chargeable weight, it can be multiplied against the freight rates. You have all that? Let's get started on some practice questions. A customer has come with a wooden crate to ship. You need to determine what the chargeable weight is going to be. First step is to calculate the actual weight. You would take the number of pieces in the shipment and multiply it by the weight of each piece. In this shipment, it is 1 wooden crate, and the weight of that 1 wooden crate is 250 kilos. So the actual weight of the shipment is 250 kilos. Next, let's start calculating the volume. We're going to take the number of pieces and multiply that by the dimensions of each piece. So if I take that 1 crate and I multiply it by 90, multiplied by 60, multiplied by 60, I'm going to get 324,000 cubic centimeters. Stop. Is that a weight? At this point, you have the cubic centimeters, but you don't have the kilograms. You need to convert this. How you do this is by dividing by 6,000. If I divide the cubic centimeters by 6,000, I am going to get 54 kilograms. That is my volume weight. Now that you have the actual weight and the volume weight, you can determine the chargeable weight. The actual weight of the shipment is 250 kilos. The volume weight is 54 kilos. That makes the chargeable weight 250 kilos. Now that you've determined the chargeable weight, you can apply the freight rate. You're going to take the chargeable weight of 250 kilos and multiply it by the air cargo rate of $2.55 per kilo. That will give you a freight charge for this shipment of $637.50. Now it's your turn. I want you to figure out what the actual weight is for this shipment. Remember, you take the number of pieces and you multiply it by the weight of each shipment. Pause the video if you have to. Now that we have the actual weight, let's start on the volume weight. Let's calculate the cubic measurement. Pause the video if you have to. Now that you have the cubic measurement, how are you going to convert this to kilos? And the volume weight of this shipment is $504 kilos. Now that you have the actual weight and the volume weight, what is the chargeable weight? The chargeable weight is 504 kilos. Now it's time to apply the air cargo rate to the chargeable weight. Air cargo consolidations are consolidating multiple shipments into one to save on costs. An example can be ordering a pizza. You and your friend both want to have pizza for dinner. You can each order in. You can still get the pizza that you want. You will have to pay the delivery fee and the tip, and your friend will have to pay the delivery fee and the tip. However, if you consolidate your order and call in with one request, you will only have to pay for one delivery fee and one tip. So therefore, you're still getting the pizza that you each want. It's still being delivered in the same time to the same destination. However, you're going to be saving some cost. That's how air freight consolidations work, putting multiple shipments together so you can save some money. Some terms you might hear when you're working on a consolidation are your sell rate and your buy rate. So a buy rate is what you are buying the space from the airline for. Think of this as your wholesale cost. So whenever you go into a store, you know that the people running the store haven't paid retail prices for them. They've paid wholesale prices, so a little bit cheaper. That's what we mean when we say a buy rate. Then you have a sell rate. What we mean by the sell rate is what you are selling the space to your customer. So again, picture a retail store. The retailer is going to add a little bit of markup to whatever they're selling to their customers so they can make a profit. That's what we're talking about when we say sell rates. Let's take a look at a consolidation shipment and how we would actually charge the customer and pay an airline. So taking a look at shipment 1, we're going to repeat the same steps. Let's calculate the actual weight. Now we're going to find the actual weight for shipment 2. So now let's find the actual weight for the entire shipment. How we're going to do this is we're going to take the actual weight from shipment 1 and add it to the actual weight of shipment 2, and that gives us the actual weight for the entire consolidation. Next up, volume weight for shipment 1. Volume weight for shipment 2. Now let's get the total consolidated volume weight for the shipment. How you're going to do this is add the volume weight from shipment 1 and add the volume weight from shipment 2, and that gives you your total volume weight for the entire shipment. Now going back to shipment 1 again, what is your chargeable weight? You had your actual weight and your volume weight. What is the larger between the two? This is just for shipment 1. It's not for the consolidation, just looking at shipment 1. Now that we have our chargeable weight, we can determine what the forwarder is going to charge their customer. We look at the sell rate because now we are selling this to our customer. We want to make a profit here. So we're going to look at our sell rate, and using the appropriate sell rate, we are going to apply that rate to the chargeable weight of shipment 1, just shipment 1. Now let's take a look at shipment 2. What is your chargeable weight for shipment 2? Now you're going to apply your sell rate to the chargeable weight for shipment 2. Do not use the consolidated chargeable weights because you have 2 different shipments. You don't want to charge somebody for something that they didn't ship. So just focus on shipment 2 when you're figuring out what the forwarder is going to charge their customer. Now it's time for the forwarder to pay the airline. So we are not going to use the sell rate this time. We're going to use the buy rate, which is the lower rates. This is because we are paying the airline now. And we are still going to use a chargeable weight, but we are going to use the chargeable weight based on the consolidated actual weight and the consolidated volume weight. We're not going to look at the higher chargeable weights from shipments 1 and shipments 2. We're looking at the total consolidated actual weight and the total consolidated volume weight to determine what the total consolidated chargeable weight will be. When you are calculating consolidations, there is a lot of information that you need to keep track of. I recommend being organized, creating a chart. Have one column labeled as shipment 1 where you can put the actual volume chargeable weight. Have another one labeled shipment 2, actual volume chargeable weight, shipment 3, shipment 4, so on, however many that are in your consolidation. And then have a column at the end labeled forwarder where you can put the total consolidation of your actual weight, the total consolidation of your volume weight, and then the total chargeable at the very bottom. This way you have all of your information organized and you can find it easily when you need it.